Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So at the beginning of the year, I wrote an article for Savvy Tokyo called 10 Japanese Dramas to Binge on Netflix. So I wrote this article because I was looking for J-dramas to watch and I was going through all of these different TV shows on Netflix, and so many of them didn't have subtitles. Like, they had subtitles in Japanese, but they didn't have subtitles in English. And there are so many amazing J-dramas on Netflix, but I was having so much trouble because I would find a really good one, the bio would be in English, the title would be in English, the thumbnail would be in English, but then it just wouldn't have subtitles. So I went looking online for a list of J-dramas on Netflix that had subtitles, and I just couldn't find a list anywhere. I decided I will write this list. So I did some research, I pitched it to my editor, and then I went through every single J-drama on Netflix to work out which ones had subtitles and which ones didn't. And then of the ones that did have English subtitles, I went through and watched the first few episodes, and then I put on the top 10 that I liked on my list. Now it turns out all of that work was worth it because the article kind of blew up a little bit. It was really popular. Clearly people wanted to see stuff about J-dramas, and there wasn't any other articles on the internet because, like, as I said, I looked for them. But yeah, the article got quite popular, and for the first portion of this year, it was like the most viewed article they had on the Savvy website. So I was really proud of that. But anyway, I thought because that article was so popular and so many people liked it, maybe you guys would like a video about J-dramas on Netflix as well. This is my top 5 favorite J-dramas on Netflix. My original article that I did had 10 J-dramas on it, so if you want a greater list, you can go and click on that article. I'll put the link in the description down below. But yeah, today we're going to be speaking about J-dramas, and as I said, these are all going to have English subtitles, so you don't have to worry about getting your heart set on watching a particular one and then finding out that you can't because it doesn't have subtitles. This is probably only a problem for me because I live in Japan and I have Japanese Netflix. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into the video, and I'm going to speak about my 5 favorite J-dramas on Netflix. Number 1 is Erased. I've spoken about this J-drama before. I think it was very briefly in like December or something like that, but I watched this a little while ago and oh my god, I loved this TV show. It was so good. Erased is based off of the manga and anime by the same name. It's basically about this guy named Satoru who can go back in time. His ability to go back in time is involuntary, and it only happens when he needs to stop a horrible accident from happening. I think in the first episode he stops a kid from being hit by a car. I think he stops someone from being hit by a car in the first episode. That's basically the premise. So when his mother is murdered, that's not a spoiler by the way, that happens in the very first episode at the beginning. It's like the start of everything and it's in all the descriptions, so not a spoiler. But when his mother is murdered, he goes back in time to his childhood in Hokkaido. It's really beautiful and there's so much snow. But he's in his childhood in Hokkaido and he has to preemptively stop his mother's murder from happening. During this time, during his childhood, there were also 3 instances of kidnappings where the kids got murdered in his hometown. So he's also going to try and stop that from happening before it happens. It's a really good drama. I absolutely loved it. I had so much fun trying to pick who the evil person was, and I love watching stuff like that where you have to try and work it out for yourself. I watched it with my boyfriend. He had already watched the anime and he thought it was a really good live action rendition of Erased, the anime. Number 2 is Itazura na Kiss, or Mischievous Kiss. This show, oh my god, I love this show so much. I feel like this is the kind of show that I would have come home from school and watched it on TV when I was 12. It's just, there's something very homely and innocent and sweet about this J-drama. It's about a girl named Koroko who's played by the adorable Honoka Miki, and she is in love with the most popular boy in school. I know it's a very unique premise, but anyway, when she confesses her love to him, she gives him a letter, he mercilessly rejects her in front of everyone. It's so mean. And yeah, by some twist of fate, she ends up living with him after her house is destroyed by a falling shooting star. So really, really realistic plotline. I think in the original manga it was destroyed by an earthquake, but in the TV show it's destroyed by a shooting star. And yeah, she ends up living with him, and basically the drama just follows on from there. The plot sounds so cringy when you describe it, but it's really, really good. I just loved this show. I binge watched it so quickly. It's just, there's something, as I said, really, really sweet and innocent and happy and simple about this J-drama. Number 3 is Midnight Diner Tokyo Stories. This J-drama is already really, really popular in the West. I've seen so many like Western magazines and stuff writing reviews on this particular TV show. I even started watching it before we moved to Japan, so I know it's like quite well known already, but it's a really, really good J-drama and I love it so much. Basically, the storyline is episodic, so every single episode it follows like a different character or a different person, but basically what all of the characters have in common is they all come to this diner where this chef is a really, really interesting dude. He works from 8 a.m. to 7 a.m. every night. And basically he just brings people together with like home cooking, and he cooks whatever the person requests, and he gives people advice, and he's just this very, very wise chef person. And it's a really brilliant J-drama because not only is it really, really well written and it's really engaging, but you can also pick which episodes you want because there's not really a storyline that goes from start to finish. As I said, each episode is episodic and it follows a different person who goes to this izakaya and how they resolve their problems and how they talk to the chef, and the chef gives them advice, and it's just a really, really good TV show to watch. Especially if you like food and cooking and Japanese food, I definitely recommend you guys checking this one out. Number 4 is called Samurai Gourmet. This is another J-drama about food, but unlike the last one, this is quite a bit more silly and lighthearted. It's more of a comedy. It's basically about this guy who retires from his job after working for like decades and decades and decades, and he finds himself with like nothing to do. He's super duper bored now that he doesn't have to go to work. So to clear his head, he decides to go for a walk, and he sees this restaurant that he's always wanted to go to but never has. And he decides that he is going to spend his retired life trying all of the foods and eating all of the things that he wanted to eat while he was at work but couldn't because he had to watch out about his weight and he had to like worry about doing the right thing. And now he's just going to treat himself and live his life to the fullest by eating whatever he wants. It's a pretty nice premise that now in retirement this guy is going to liberate himself and do whatever he wants and eat whatever he wants, and the fact that he feels very free to do that is quite nice. But the problem is he is quite timid and he's a bit shy and he's a bit worried about standing out or doing things that he shouldn't be doing. So he uses an alter ego named the Masterless Samurai to give him self-confidence and help him give the boost he needs to eat whatever he wants. And he imagines this samurai and what the samurai would do, and the samurai wouldn't like let anyone stop him from eating katsukari and beer on a Tuesday, so he's gonna do that. And it's a really, really light-hearted, like happy comedy. It's a little bit silly, but I really, really like it. And again, if you like Japanese food, if you like cooking, you should definitely check it out because this one is all about food. Number 5 is a J-drama called Atelier, or Underwear. It has 2 different titles depending on where you're watching. I think in Australia it's called Underwear. I think in somewhere else it's called Atelier. Atelier. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Atelier. Basically, this is a J-drama about a young woman who's trying to make it in the fashion industry. She has recently graduated from a degree where she studied fabric science. So she absolutely loves the science behind how fibers are made and the way that fabrics work, and she really, really loves like the chemistry of it. But the only job she can find is at an upmarket designer for really expensive lingerie. So at first she thinks that she's going to be doing all this cool stuff with fabric, and then realizes that basically she's just going to be doing like an ordinary design role, and she's like at the very bottom of this hierarchy within this company, and she struggles a bit because she's a bit of a dork and she's not beautiful, which is completely incorrect because she is, but she doesn't like dress beautifully, so she doesn't fit in. This very much is the same premise as The Devil Wears Prada or Ugly Betty. I don't know if anyone remembers that show. Yeah, so if you like fashion and stuff like that, you'll really, really like it. It's quite sweet watching her persevere and do her best and work really hard despite the odds. And yeah, as I said, very, very Devil Wears Prada. If you like stuff like that. If you like stuff about the fashion industry, I definitely recommend checking out this one. And that was everything. Like I said, if you guys are looking for more J-drama recommendations, I have linked that article in the description down below. That was a longer list than this one, so feel free to check that out if you would like. And please let me know what J-dramas you like. They don't have to be on Netflix, it's just Netflix is very, very easy and accessible to a lot of people. And they don't even have to be J-dramas. I'm also looking at watching a few K-dramas in the future, so I would love recommendations on that too, or anything else you would like to recommend. I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a lovely day. Bye bye.